Hi everyone, it's Laura Milligan here, and I have a really fun card to share with you today. I call it a triple fold card, and it's a slimline card, but it is a triple fold. So it's going to open up like that, and I'm excited to show you how to make this. The paper that I'm using today is in our celebration brochure, which ends on February 2021, which is this Sunday actually. It is the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper. It is gorgeous, gorgeous paper, and you can get this for free with a qualifying $50 order. And let me show you. Here's a little snippets. The paper is 12 by 12. I've cut these up just so that you can see them. It makes it a little bit easier for me to display them on my screen. But they're beautiful florals, beautiful colors, and then on the back there are some fun patterns and designs. Really, really cute paper. And again, like I said, you can get it for free with a qualifying $50 order. So let me show you the products that I'm using to coordinate with that paper is the In Bloom bundle. And it is in our January to June mini catalog. It includes a great stamp set with 21 stamps and then a coordinating set of dies. And there are 25 dies in this set. And one of the things that I love about the dies is that they have stitching. And of course, if you buy the bundle, you save 10% on the price. So you always want to buy things in a bundle. Let me bring these in. These are the dies, and you can see all the dies and all the stitching. I think almost every single one of these has stitching. And then this is the stamp set. And what's neat about these dies, not only, of course, do they coordinate with the stamp set, but they also coordinate with the Designer Series paper. So, for example, you could put that is not the one, but you could, let me see if I can find one. Like this could go on, let's see. These are just little snippets, so it's kind of hard to find. Here we go. So for example, this one fits on this. There's actually some other ones. I think this one looks like it may go on there. Yeah, that would work on that one. There are centers for the flowers. There are actually these little sprigs of leaves, and this isn't a full piece of the DSP, but you can see how those would fit over that. So you can use these with this special paper. This paper goes away February 28th. Once celebration is gone, it's gone. So don't want to miss out. Okay, so let me just show you how I did this. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to use this pattern here, and I'm going to cut this at 8.5. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 10.5. Oops, that's my spinning blade. Okay. So it's going to be, that's how my card will open. And so I need to score it now. I'm scoring it at 3.5. And the light gray blade is the scoring blade on this. So I'm going to score that really well, and then I'm also going to bring it down here and score at 7. And that will be the base of my card. I'm going to bring my trimmer back in a minute because I'm going to want to show you how to make a coordinating envelope. So I'm just going to fold this up. That's how that will open. I'm going to score this. I'm actually going to bring in my bone folder because I want to get a nice crisp fold there. It's going to go with this. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this will be my front flap. I'm going to take a 2-inch circle and just position this on that front flap. Right about there. And then I'm going to, let me grab my little packet. I have a piece of Seaside Spray cardstock, and I just pulled the colors that I'm using from the Designer Series paper. I want to make a little ring. So what I like to do is start with the smaller circle, and that's the 2-inch one again. And then I'm going to use my 2 1/4 inch and just center this around that 2-inch circle and get it as straight as I can. That's pretty good. And then I have a ring. And that ring is going to be positioned right on that little 2-inch circle that I cut. Next thing I want to do is take a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to use my punch again, my 2-inch punch. And I'm going to stamp on this. I am using the You Are Amazing stamp from the In Bloom stamp set. I'm going to bring in my little mat. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so I want to be sure to stamp on something that gives a little bit. So I like to use my deluxe foam mat with an accessory with the Stamparatus. So we'll go ahead. I'm using Night of Navy ink. And I'll just stamp You Are Amazing. Okay, that looks pretty good. So what I'll do is add some adhesive to the back of that, and that's just going to fit right in that 2-inch circle that I punched. So let me go ahead and add some Stampin' Seal to the back of my circle. And I will position that in place, make sure it's straight. I'm going to hold my finger in the middle and pull this through like that. Okay. All right, so there's that part. Then I'm going to take my little ring, which I think has disappeared. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay. And for this, I'm just going to attach this with a little bit of my Tombow liquid glue. So let me grab that here. And you know what I always say with this glue, I'm going to make sure it's not stuck there. Okay, looks pretty good. You just want to put a few little dabs on this. Just a few little droplets. And I'll position this right around this 2-inch circle that I punched in the front. Okay, I'll give that just a second to set. So you have this, and it's going to open up like that. And the next thing I did was I took the scraps of this paper that I had left over when I cut the base of my card, and I positioned these different dies on the DSP. So like, let me just show you an example. Like here's a little, do a pink flower. I did some, some leaves. There are individual leaves. There's the sprigs and then some individual ones as well. And I just put these right on this DSP. For the navy blue, I used this die, which is I'm going to use for centers of the flowers. This sweet little die cuts out 3 teeny little flowers. I did those in blue as well. But I just filled up this whole thing and ran that through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'll show you. Set that aside. here's one of the pieces that I use. So you can see how I really, you know, cut a lot of different things out of this designer paper. There's the other side. I could have also stamped some flowers, but I love this DSP so much. So here I'm going to pull in my flowers. I'm going to put those out here. This is one that I cut from one of the different patterns of DSP. Super cute too, but you can see, look how cute these are because they all have, let me hold this up if you can see it. They all have the stitching on it, on them. Okay, so now I'm just going to decorate. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to position some flowers on here. I'm going to start with this big flower there. I'm just going to position these in a way that I like, and then I will go ahead and glue them down. Let's see. Okay, here's another leaf. So we'll put 2 leaves there, like that. And then here's one of the centers. We'll put that right there. And then on this lower part, I think I'll use a little smaller flower. And this is a double leaf. Maybe I'll put that right there. There's no right or wrong. You, of course, could do these any way you want. It's kind of fun to design them and play with them a little bit. And then this is another really cute flower. I'll just put down here. I'm going to use for these teeny little ones. This is the small die. It cuts out 3 at a time, and I'm going to kind of curl those ends up a little bit just with my fingers. There's another one. And I like the way that looks, so I think I'm going to stop there. So now I just need to put this all together. And I am going to use my glue again. So I'll just sort of take this apart, add some glue. You want to be careful with the glue. You don't want to put it, and the flowers as well, you don't want to adhere any of them to this circle because then the card won't open. So I'm being a little bit careful and positioning these outside that ring. All right, and then I have my floral center. And again, I could use my bone folder and curl these petals up just real gently because I don't want to tear them. Like that. And that's going to just sit right there. And then I'll attach these down here in the same way. I'll just use little bits of glue. And again, just being careful not to glue them beyond that ring. I'm just putting the glue more on the outside areas. I also don't want to cover up my words, which I almost did right there. Okay. Okay, and then I'll add this sweet little blue flower. Put that right there. Look. Okay, then I'm going to add these tiny little flowers for the centers. So I'll pick up my glue again. Whoops. Now I got a little dab of glue there, so what I'm thinking of doing, because I thought that looked kind of cute, I'm just gonna cover that up by adding another one of these little flowers there. That'll look kind of cute because it'll be on the inside then. Can always fix our boo-boos, right? People will think I meant for it to be that way all along. I actually think that looks pretty cute. So I'm going to give that a second to set, and then I want to open it up and add a flower to the inside. I think I'll do this here. And then I'm going to add a center to that flower. Okay, so there's that part. And then for the inside panel, I have cut a piece of Whisper White. Let's see, where did I put it? Oh, you know what? I punched my circle out of that. Okay, so that's probably not what I want to do right there. So I'm going to just grab another piece of Whisper White. Let's see if I can find a piece. I should have a piece in my drawer. Okay, so this is going to be cut at 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So let me pull this out. So that's 8 1/4. This will leave a nice little edge around the whole thing, and then this is going to be 3 1/4. Nice little border so you can see some of the designer paper on the inside. So that'll be attached just like that. I'll bring in my stamp and seal. Get that centered on there. Okay, so that'll be just like that. And look how cute. All right, so then I had, let's see. So I have a little piece of this left. So I thought what I would do, I thought it would be cute, is to cut this as well. And actually, yeah, this is cut at 8 1/2. So I'm going to trim this up a little bit and cut it to 8 1/4. I just thought it would carry the color of the paper that's on the outside, bring it into the inside. And I'm just going to cut this about 3/4 inches. And I'll just attach that right on this inside panel. Whoop. There, and then I have some extra flowers, so I thought I would, carry that floral idea to the inside as well. And I think for this one, I'm going to use one of these bigger sprigs because I think those are super cute as well. So these, again, I'm going to go ahead and attach with my glue just a little bit. Put that right there. And then we'll put this, let that stick a minute. And then I'll attach this here. And I think, yeah, I do have another one of the centers. So I'll go ahead and put that right on the center of my flower. Like that. And I'm going to pull out Happy Birthday, You Really Are the Best. stamps that, and I'll go ahead and put that on a block. And I still have my mat under here, so I'm going to go ahead and just stamp it right on this. Okay, so there's that. And then, so it's going to open like that. And then what I wanted to do was just to embellish this a little bit. So I've used my snail mail twine combo, and it's a Blushing Bride and a Whisper White, which looks really pretty with the flowers on my card. So I'm going to do a double bow with both the pink and the white. And I'll just tie, I'll take two pieces, but I'll tie it together as if it's just one piece. Look at this. And I just like to hold this in my fingers, hold the center of it, and then I can adjust. I call it fidgeting. I fidget with the bow a little bit to get it the way I want it to look. And this I'm going to just tuck underneath my flower, my large flower with a glue dot. Just tuck that right under there, like that. Okay, so I'll trim these a little bit. I kind of like them a little bit long. I think that looks pretty. And then I wanted to just add a little bit of bling. So I have some rhinestones. And I'll just put those on the center of some of my flowers. And I should have my take your pick tool. I don't see it here, so you know what? I'll just use my fingers. I'm just going to put these. My favorite thing is the take your pick tool, but you know, a good chef will always tell you that their best tool is their hands. And I think for crafters too, there's nothing wrong with using your hands, but boy, that take your pick tool makes it easy, especially for little things like this. Okay, so that's just dressed up, and I want to put one on here. These are the smallest little rhinestones. And so that is my triple fold Slimline card. I think it's super cute. Now, I've sized this so that it will fit in a number 9 business envelope, and which is great. I got, you know, I have just plain white business size number 9 envelopes. They're a little smaller than the business size number 10. I feel like they fit this better, but it's also really fun to make a coordinating envelope. So let me show you how to do that. Let me get this ink and everything out of the way a little bit here. Clear off this area a little bit. Okay, so I have a piece of, this is another piece of the designer paper. It's pink on the one side and then the florals on the other, and I thought this would look really pretty for an envelope for this card. So what I'm going to do is, so here is the card, and like I said, it does fit in a business 9 envelope, but it's also fun to create your own envelope that coordinates. So I'm going to use a 12 by 12 piece of the designer paper. And let me show you how to do this. So I need to cut this 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut it here at 8.5. I'm going to turn it and cut it at 11. So that's just cutting 1 inch off. Okay. I'm going to turn it back this way, the long way. And I'm going to be scoring now. So when you're scoring, you want to use your the gray blade. And I'm going to score this at 2.5. Six and a half. And then On this side, 1.5. These will be the flaps for the envelope. And then 10.5. Okay, so I got that all scored and ready to go. And what I like to do is just take my bone folder and just give it a good crease on all those score lines. Okay, then what I need to do is take my paper snip, and you can see these little rectangle shapes here and here, and then also down here. I'm going to snip those away. So I'm going to cut right on the score line. Here and here. And then I'll cut these little rectangles. These are just, I'm just following the score line and cutting to the point where it meets the score line that goes the opposite direction. So just cut those little pieces out. You can kind of see how this is forming an envelope. Okay. So then what I like to do also is just take my paper snips and just slightly angle these flaps. You don't have to do this, but I feel like it just helps. It makes it look more like an envelope, and I just think it kind of, it sort of finishes it. So we're just going to angle that. I just eyeball this. I'm not worried that it's, you know, perfectly symmetrical. To me, it doesn't have to be perfectly perfect. So then we're going to go like this, and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the length of this part. And I'll just give that a second to hold. And then this part here, this is going to fold up and create our bottom little flap. You could use the glue, which is what I'm going to do. You could also use some of the Stamp and Seal. And again, I'll just give this a minute to hold. And then this one I'm going to wait, because I will be inserting, of course, my beautiful card in there. And after I put it in there, I will go ahead and seal it. And I probably would use maybe tear and tape or my Stamp and Seal, something like that. You want to give a good hold to that. And of course, you want to crease it. But when you send this, you can definitely send this in the mail. And what I do is just use like a label. I have sheets of labels, and I would just put one here and write my address, whoever it's going to be sent to. I would put their name and address there. You could even put a return label up here. Of course, you put your postage, and there is my cute triple fold card, slimline card with a coordinating envelope. So thank you so much for watching today. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, I would love for you to take a minute and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified anytime I create a video and add it to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate that. I love your comments. I will be adding all the measurements, etc., to the description below this post and below this video. And thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Thank you so much.